I think as a veterinarian and a business owner, a rancher and a job creator, I'm uniquely qualified to speak to the issues that impact the folks in this district. As a licensed professional and as a small business owner, I've seen what state government and the regulations can do to impede your ability to be successful, impede your ability to create jobs. Also, as a rancher, I've dealt with drought and environmental issues and regulatory issues and things and often state regulations that are directly at odds with the needs of our farmers and ranchers in the district as well. And I think a key experience I have is being a former member of the Killeen Independent School District Board of Trustees. School finance is so crucial to having any meaningful property tax reform. That my experience with school finance, the complicated school finance system, with school construction, passing school bonds, dealing with initiatives that improve student achievement, dealing with issues that work to put the best teachers in the classroom, being an advocate for teachers for their pay raise and their benefits. Those are valuable experiences that I can bring to the table and be, I think, a very positive voice for this district. From the black dirt farms in East Bell County all the way through Salado and the small business area to the retired community, when you move westward to Killeen and Harker Heights, to Lampasas County, property tax reform, it comes up again and again and again. Also, a complicated and out-of-date school finance system, it keeps coming up, as well as the unfunded mandates that burden our cities and our counties and our schools, but also shift the costs to the local taxpayer. And I guess the unique advantage, the opportunity we have is these issues can all be solved, or the process can be begun to solve. We can begin to solve the problem, if you will, by tackling these issues, and it will directly and positively impact property tax reform. And so I think to do the big work of property tax reform, we must reform our school finance system. We must have real unfunded mandate reform. And that means not resolutions and votes that say, wow, we wish we could do this, but resolutions or real legislation that will actually require an appropriation. So when the state legislature says, county, school, city, we need you to do this, they not only tell you to do it, but they actually fund it. And our local officials, our local county commissioners, our local school board members, our local city council folks, they're the ones that have to solve the problems. They're the ones that are closest to the citizens. Our citizens of District 54 have more power and influence over these local folks than they'll ever have over the folks in Austin. And so, a huge unfunded mandate that impacts our local communities in the Killeen Harker Heights area right now, and it even expands to Salado and Lampasas, is the 100% disabled exemption for our veterans, a deserving group of folks that have meant so much to our country. But it is this unfunded mandate has created real issues for our schools, our counties, and our cities. And so there's a prime example of what happens when issues are instigated and voted on from Austin without really looking at the impact that they'll have on the local citizenry. So we have to solve that. And so our property tax issues and the reform of that is all wrapped up in making sure the school finance system is reformed properly, making sure unfunded mandates are finally reformed to a level that is meaningful, to make sure that our property tax appraisal system and our appraisal district is a fair and open place for our citizens to go to. We also, through that, we have to have transparency. We need to make sure that our citizens can look at a property tax statement and realize the impact that the rates are having, but the appraisal values are having. And then finally, if we do this right, it will require the engagement of the local citizenry. They must always, always be able to stand up and tell their local officials what's impacting them the most. And so it's a two-way street. I look forward to doing my part in Austin. And then I look forward to the local citizens holding me accountable and their local elected officials accountable for doing what we say. Well, first of all, I'm not a career politician and I'm not a career candidate. I think my experience as a small business owner, as a licensed professional, as a rancher, and as someone that has served on a local school board is all very, very valuable experience. And I think also the trust that I've gained from the community over the years. I've been very pleased to be been involved in numerous organizations, from the Greater Killeen Chamber of Commerce, the 14 Forward campaign that is really working very hard to enhance economic development activity in our area. Serving on the Peaceable Kingdom Retreat for Children Board, a meaningful experience that has impacted the lives of so many kids and impacted the lives of my family as well. Just getting to be a part of that has been very, very, very important to us. And I think that one of the biggest distinction when you've been in business and you've ranched and you've served on a school board, you've been the recipient of what state government can do to you. And so that's a great training ground, if you will, to go to Austin and to be able to pass meaningful legislation that impacts people's lives, but also have that realization of what passing that legislation will do. You know, the unintended consequences of what happens in Austin is what has led to most of our problems. If you look at the school finance system, for instance, you know, it was a short-term fix that came down in a court decision 24 years ago. And that short-term solution is still the law of the land. And so it is going to be important that a legislator have the vision and to be thoughtful when you pass legislation, to be able to not just look at the immediate political consequences of what that would do for me, but what does that really do to the citizens that will have to live under these regulations, these laws, these guidelines. My experience as a citizen, as a small business owner, as a school board member, as just a guy in the community, I think will be very valuable in doing a really good job for the citizens of District 54.